Where are those 1.6 million gotaways?
They are most likely at different places in the United States.
Who are they?
Working and living.
Who are they?
Well, there are probably people from different countries around the world, sir.
Probably. People from all around the world.
They are from different countries around the world, yes, sir.
Yeah. How many different countries?
Well, if the data that we have about those who are apprehended is any indication, a large number of countries, probably about
162 of them from all over the world?
Probably, yes, sir.
Right. You willing to bet your family's life, my family's life, on the safety of in our country, irrespective of who these individuals are when you don't even know who they are?
Yes, sir. The chance of dying from a foreign-born terrorist attack since 1975 is 1 in 4.4 million per year.
Mr. Narasta, I'm sure that is great comfort to the families of the people from 9/11. Because when you sit here and testify that 0 people have committed a terrorist attack from crossing our border, I'm sure that is comfort to the people who had terrorist attacks committed by people who came here and overstayed their visas.
It is no comfort.
The fact of the matter is, when you talk about having an open border, and you minimize the open border by saying that people have to pay $5,000 to come here in that open border, you're ignoring the fact of what that does to human beings, when it is in fact so open that that's exactly what's happening. I'm sure that your position is great comfort to the man in Baltimore who was being held up for ransom for $23,000 so that his little girl wouldn't get raped in a stash house in Fort Worth. Have you talked to that little girl or to that father?
Was he a terrorism suspect?
Have you talked to that father, Mr. Narasta?
No, I'm not aware of that terrorism case. What was his name?
Have you talked to that father whose little girl was being raped in a stash house?
No, I haven't. Is this a terrorism-related issue?
I'm answering the questions, and this is the subject matter I want to talk about in this hearing, Mr. Narasta, because you're the one sitting here trying to tell the American people that our border is perfectly fine, that it is perfectly okay, that it is, not open because people are paying $5,000 or $10,000 to get here. So it is very much relevant that a little girl's getting raped in a stash house because of the policies of you and radical leftists who don't give a damn about it, because it is more politically expedient for you to saddle up to the Libertarian Cato Institute or a bunch of radical leftists and talk about, how important it is for people to free flow across borders.
I have talked about the chaos repeatedly, sir. The way to reduce the chaos is through legalization and liberalization, not cracking down more. If you cared about the border chaos, that is the way to do it.
Which will perpetuate the lawlessness, and you know it.
That was Congressman Chip Roy of Texas with an explosive line of questioning over, you saw the border crisis and the results of the open borders policy. There are a lot of people in Washington, D.C. and Manhattan, like that guy, who thinks we should have an open border. We just need to be more regulated about it. We need to normalize illegal immigration and just process people a lot faster. But in the long run, it's good to have as many people crossing into this country as you want. Yeah, because they're in Manhattan, because they're in Washington, D.C. They don't have to deal with the real-world repercussions of that policy. Chip Roy, down in Texas, his voters do. And it's kind of nice to have a politician completely unplugged and emotional about the very real ramifications of not protecting our sovereign nation's borders. And if it made that man squirm, if it makes you squirm a little bit, well, that's good. Because we should actually confront this thing knowing how people are suffering.